So Melanie, how have you been? Hmm? Okay, that's great. Alright, so in your interview, you mentioned that you constantly felt sad and hopeless, as if life had no purpose anymore. You also mentioned that these feelings of sadness are accompanied by feelings of being on edge and a broken record of thoughts that you have difficulty shutting off. Are these problems still occurring? Okay. Previously, you mentioned that you enjoyed hiking and cycling. Do you still enjoy these activities? Hmm? Okay. So you no longer feel motivated or desire anything outside the house. You feel constantly lethargic. Yeah. Right. Are there any other issues? Okay. Okay. So you find yourself unable to sleep. Do you still find yourself having difficulty concentrating as well? Last time we spoke, you also mentioned feeling like a space cadet at work or when you tried to converse with someone else. Is this problem still occurring? Okay. In the initial interview, your goal for this assessment in intervention uh, was in the hopes that I could provide some answers on why you felt so down on yourself and why you just you know and why you just couldn't function properly anymore, as you mentioned in your last interview. You also mentioned that you wanted to stop feeling crappy and get back to your normal self, mostly for your three daughters. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, today we're going to discuss some interviews with your GP and your sister Jennifer, as well as some questionnaires and a monitoring form which you completed. First, we're going to talk about these interviews. Your GP presented concerns and noted your depressed mood, as well as expressed concerns regarding your insomnia and recent weight loss. Your sister Jennifer also had her concerns. She noticed a change in your mood around 6 months ago, and felt like it was progressively getting worse to the point that you rarely left the house. She also believes that you are depressed and describes you as irritable and restless. However, she also mentioned that she's always worried about you, and she's always calling and texting you to check on things. Is that right? Yeah. All right. All right. Now we're going to discuss the questionnaire results. For this questionnaire, the depression, anxiety, stress scale was used. The scale is a 42-item self-reported questionnaire which assesses the core symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress in adults. Melanie, you were asked to respond to a 4-point scale as to how much these items applied to you over the past week. The results of this questionnaire suggest that your depression is severe and your anxiety is very severe. However, it portrays your stress as moderate. Lastly, we're going to discuss your monitoring form. Uh, Over the course of a week, you completed a daily mood chart, a chart which relied on self-monitoring to evaluate your mood. On the first day, you reported only getting 3 hours of sleep, mentioning that you couldn't think straight and that you were restless, and you gave your whole day a 3. On the second day, you reported only getting 4 hours of sleep, which is more than the first day. However, you gave the second day at 3 in the morning, however, at 5 in the afternoon. On the third day, you reported getting 4.5 hours of sleep, reporting that you went out to lunch with Jennifer. You rated your third day a 4 in the morning and a 5 in the afternoon. On the fourth day, you reported 3.5 hours of sleep, and that it was a catch day, and that you slept bad. You rated your fourth day a 2 in the morning and a 3 in the afternoon. On the fifth day, you reported only getting 3 hours of sleep, commenting, "Worry, worry, worry, I can't make it stop." You rated your fifth day a 2 for the whole day. This is probably your worst. This was probably your worst day of the whole week. On the second day, you reported only getting 5 hours of sleep, commenting, "The girls are home. I know they're safe on weekends." You rated your sixth day a 4 in the morning and a 6 in the afternoon. That 6 being your highest score, your highest rating for the whole week. On the seventh day, you reported only getting 4 hours of sleep, reporting that you still feel mopey, but went out to garden today. You rated your seventh day a 4 in the morning and a 5 in the afternoon. Today, you reported only getting 4 hours of sleep and rated your mood in the morning as a 4. Do you think your mood has improved since then? Okay. I noticed that your mood seemed to be the highest on the 6th day. You mentioned in the comments that on the day your girls are home. Do you think this had something to do with your daughters? Your best day had any connection or relationship with your daughters being home that day? Okay. Okay, Melanie. We're just going to go through a quick summary of what we went through today. Today we discussed the presenting problems and goals from the initial interview. In the initial interview, your goal for this assessment was that hoping that I could provide some answers on why you felt so down on yourself and so you could get back to normal. The problem you presented was that you constantly felt sad and hopeless. We checked on these problems and whether they were still occurring. We then discussed some interviews concerning your GP and your sister before we discussed your questionnaire and monitoring results. Your GP showed concern regarding your depression as well as your sister. And your sister mentioned that she saw you progressively getting worse to the point where you wouldn't leave the house. And she described you as irritable and restless. The results from the recent questionnaire suggest that your depression and anxiety are severe, and that in your monitoring form or daily mood chart, which was conducted recently over the past week, suggested that your mood is at its highest when your daughters are home and safe, as you mentioned, and that your good days occurred when you weren't cooped up inside and you left the house. It would also be good to note that your worst day happened just before your best day. That might be having something to do with worrying. So anyway, so after going through that summary, how do you feel now? Okay. Okay, Melanie. Well, that's the end of this assessment. If you have any issues, please let me know. But until then, until next time.